Okay, so it's 2 p.m., so let's get started. Good afternoon from Prague, from the Czech Republic. Welcome to this online info session for applicants to the second call of Merit, a fellowship program for PhD researchers for making exceptional research in the Czech Republic. Before we start, I would like to mention that this event is recorded and the event will be available on the Merit website after this session. I would like to ask you to please keep your cameras and microphones off. You can turn them on when you will be asking questions. And please keep your questions for the Q&A session after the presentations. If you don't want to forget your question, you can write them to the chat during the presentations, but we will come back to them after our presentations in the end of the session. My name is Martina Vycudilíková and I am the program manager, and I will walk you through this first part of the presentation, where I will be focusing on the eligibility criteria, the application process step by step, the call documentation, and after I will give the word to my colleague Atsiri Moreno, who will follow up with the second part of the presentation, and she will focus on the evaluation and selection process, evaluation criteria for the written and oral part. And as I said, our presentation will be followed by the questions and answer session. I suppose that everyone is familiar with the program Merit, but very briefly, Merit is a fellowship program for PhD researchers under the Marie Sklodowska-Curie Action Co-Fund scheme. It is co-financed by Horizon Europe and also by the Central Bohemia region, one region in the Czech Republic. And we have currently the second call open with the deadline on April 15, 2024. The program website is meritcb.eu. So in case you still haven't visited the website, we invite you to do so. Our program offers many research options under 5 main areas, which are biotechnology and biomedicine, lasers, digitalization, sustainable energy, and space. We have currently 18 host organizations involved in the second call. The host organizations are all research organizations and universities located in the Czech Republic. And the program offers various research options. At this moment, we have more than 35 different research groups involved in the second call that represent these host organizations and those 5 research areas. And I will just briefly mention about the benefits of the program. So if you are selected within Merit, you will receive an international recognized 30 months Marie Sklodowska-Curie Action Fellowship. The salary is highly competitive, and I would like to highlight that we also offer higher salary for researchers with family obligations. We offer excellent training program, both in research and transferable skills. Transferable skills are, let's say, soft skills for researchers, including several training workshops to develop different kind of skills, and also individual mentoring and coaching. We offer international and interdisciplinary environment that will be offered especially by the workplaces. And if you are interested, we can also offer a lot of engagement possibilities with industry partners, for example, through several networking events or through the secondments. So let's get started with the eligibility conditions. Who are the eligible candidates and how does the eligible application look like? So eligible candidate is any researcher in a possession of a PhD degree. And I would like to stress here that it is regardless of how many years ago the PhD was awarded to you. This researcher must also comply with the mobility rule. It means that you must not have resided or carried out the main activity in the Czech Republic for more than 12 months in the 3 years before the call deadline. In the case of the second call, the call deadline is April 15, 2024. Besides that, the application needs to comply with the following conditions in order to be considered as eligible and accepted for the evaluation. The application must be submitted via our application system. You must fill in 3 online forms besides the main registration form, which are eligibility form, ethics issue table, and ethics self-assessment if applicable. Applicable, it means that if you check any of the boxes from the ethics issue table, you must develop an ethics self-assessment and a secondment form. Then your application must obviously contain the research proposal, which is the key part of your application. And I would like to mention that there is a 10-page limit for the research proposal, and the extra pages will be disregarded. Then, of course, you must upload your CV, and there is a 5-page limit for the CV, and extra pages will be disregarded. And one last attachment to the application is an endorsement from the prospective supervisor, which is basically a confirmation of the feasibility from the supervisor, but I will come back to this point later and develop more. Application process step by step. So, step 1. In the first place, you need to find a suitable host organization and research group, and of course the supervisor, because each research group is always represented by a supervisor. Obviously, this research group must correspond to your research expertise. Please note that you can choose only among the research groups that are published on the program website. Any other research group that is not part of the consortium is not eligible in the second call. In case you still haven't identified any research group at this moment, we will now guide you how to do it, because there are a few ways how you can proceed. So on the MERIT website, in the section Research Options, you can either see the list of all research groups classified under the 5 MERIT areas, or you can check the overview of all host organizations, or you can see the overview of all supervisors. For your better navigation, you can always filter only the research area that is which is of your interest. So for example, if you are interested in lasers, you can see the overview of all supervisors related to laser areas. If you are interested in sustainable energy, you can filter only this area, so you don't have to list, for example, see the list of research groups that are not of your interest. The next step is that you will formulate your research topic and get the endorsement from the chosen supervisor. Of course, your research topic must be in line with the chosen research group focus and activities, and must be feasible in the workplace that you choose. This is why we recommend you to read about the position and to see who are the expected and compatible candidates. You will find this information, the detail about the position on the Merit website under the supervisor's profile if you click on the button about the position. Or we also recommend to check the institutional website of the host organization, where you can obviously find more information and to see if your profile and your expertise fits. Remember that the supervisor should assess only the compliance with the research group focus and the technical feasibility of your project. So the endorsement is only the confirmation of the feasibility of your proposal. It is not at all a scientific judgment. Basically, the supervisor should only assess this compliance and the technical feasibility of your project. And if the supervisor refuses to give you the endorsement, there must always be a justification. For example, a justification can be that the supervisor doesn't have the equipment needed for implementation of your project. There are two ways how you can get the endorsement from the supervisor. The first way is that you contact the supervisor directly and you describe your research qualifications. For example, you can send your CV, but you don't have to, you can just describe it. And you must send an abstract or a draft of the project that you propose. Then the supervisor should provide feedback to you within 7 calendar days. If the supervisor doesn't respond within 7 calendar days, please contact us directly. And the second way is for the candidates that prefer to avoid direct communication with the host organization. They can contact us, the management board, directly and proceed in the same way. So describe your research qualification, send an abstract of your project, and the name of the chosen research group and the supervisor. And then we will ensure the supervisor's feedback regarding the feasibility of your research project. And we can also ensure, if you want, that the project, the research abstract will be anonymized. This is the template for the endorsement. So this is what the supervisor should write to you. And for the template for refusal, in case your project is not feasible. And as you can see, there must be always the reason mentioned. Also, I would like to add that a simple scan of an email from the prospective supervisor is sufficient. There doesn't need to be any letter signed. It's just that we must see that the supervisor found your project feasible. So in case you still haven't approached the supervisor or the management board to get the endorsement, we recommend you to do it as soon as possible, because please bear in mind that the communication might take some time. Then the next step, step 3, is to identify a suitable secondment organization. If you are familiar with the guide for applicants and the conditions, so you certainly know that secondment is a mandatory part of the fellowship, and you should have some plan already at the application stage. Some plan in which organization, or at least in which type of organization, you are going to carry out your secondment. Remember that I mentioned that there is also a secondment form to be filled in as part of your application. I would like to highlight also that secondment is not the same thing as the fellowship. Secondment is actually a temporary placement during your fellowship in other than the host organization, in academic or non-academic sector. And the duration of the secondment is between 2 and 9 months. And the secondment can be carried out in more than one institution in several maybe shorter stays. But do not confuse, please, with the fellowship itself, because it was sometimes confused in the first call. So how to find a suitable secondment partner? You have actually two options. Either you can choose a partner among those that are part of the project consortium that you will find on the Merit website. So you will find the profile of these organizations in the section Research Options Secondments. And there are also some connections already made between the hosting organizations, the chosen research groups, and these secondment partners. But in case any of these partners does not fulfill your needs for the secondments, which is completely understandable and fine, you can propose any other partner of your own choice. Or maybe the supervisor will recommend another institution. So it is possible. You can also write, another institution in the secondment form or in the application. But please note that in this case, you will need to secure such secondment on your own. So you will need to approach this institution once you are selected as successful candidate. I will also add that in case you are interested in a non-academic secondment in a company or a larger company or smaller company in the Czech Republic, we offer our help to identify and find a suitable industry partner in our region. And the last step is to elaborate and complete your research proposal and submit your application. Please make sure that before you submit your application, you used the right program proposal template. You will find it in how to apply download section. Please make sure that you are familiar with the evaluation criteria and that you addressed really all of them. Also fill in on the online forms. I will stress here that it is important also to develop an ethics self-assessment in case you checked any of the boxes in the ethics issue table. Of course, have your CV ready and up to date, and get the endorsement from the supervisor before you submit your application, because this is one of the attachments that you will have to upload as part of your application. So once you are ready, you can click on the button Apply, which you will find on the Merit website. And you will see this registration form that you will fill in. And after you fill in this registration form, you will see this form, the main registration form, and then 3 online forms that I was mentioning. So here you will have to choose the researcher type, standard, reintegration or career restart or researchers at risk. You will choose your scientific area, lasers, biotechnology, etc. Research group, so this is the group that you have chosen. And you will write your project name, project acronym that I should mention, and project abstract. In case you don't know what it means, the project acronym is basically an abbreviation of your project name. And a project abstract is basically a summary of your project. So the project abstract is something that you should send to the supervisor to get the confirmation of the feasibility. And of course, you upload your CV, the proposal, and the endorsement. And finally, some few words about call documentation. So this is the overview of important documents that you should read or at least get familiar with before you apply. The most important documents is obviously the guide for applicants that you will find in the section how to apply, and the technical proposal template. But there are also other useful documents such as terms and conditions or open science conditions or practical handbook for merit fellows that you will find in also in the section how to apply. Why I am mentioning these documents is because some information contained in these useful documents can also help you better address some parts of your research proposal, for example, in the section impact. And finally, we will look closer to the technical proposal template, which you will use for elaboration of your research project. So the template is to be downloaded on the website in the section how to apply download section. And the template is divided into 3 parts: excellence, impact, and implementation. And each part is divided into several subsections, which correspond to the evaluation criteria. The template contains instructions as well as useful guidance how to address these criteria. So we tried to help you also with the template to address the evaluation criteria correctly. Please remember that you should prepare the proposal on your own without the involvement of the supervisor. So the role of the supervisor really ends when giving you the endorsement, and then you should work on your proposal on your own. Please do not deviate from the template and do not modify the titles or do not omit any of the subsections because that would result in could make your application ineligible. It means that it could be rejected from the evaluation process. For example, if you deviate really seriously from the template or modify the template. And please remember that this is the key part of your application that will be evaluated. And you need to reach at least 75% from this evaluation in this written evaluation to advance to the next stage, the oral interview. So that's why we recommend you to really pay attention to the project proposal, and also we can offer you some training that will take place in the next week, and Atsiri will talk about it further. Okay, so this is all from my side. So then I will stop sharing, and I will give the floor to my colleague Atsiri, who will follow up.
Thank you, Martina. If you want, I reclaim host rights. So if you can reclaim the host rights. So if you want to, then manage the participants. So I will be sharing my screen now. Zoom. So then I will be telling you about the evaluation and selection process and what is the criteria for the evaluation. So after now that we have the call open, this will last open for 3 months. That means since we open it until April 15, would be 3 months, and then we will have a time to do the eligibility check. It means that we will go over the documents that you uploaded in the system to see if you fulfill the condition. That means that you have a PhD, that you're holder of a PhD, that you haven't resided in the Czech Republic for 12 consecutive months in the last 3 years, etc. So these criteria that Martina already mentioned. After that, going over the abstract of your projects, then we will start doing the matching between your project proposal and evaluators. Each proposal will be evaluated by 3 evaluators. 2 of them are international evaluators, and 1 of them is an internal evaluator from the research institutes itself. Then it comes the written evaluation. And I will show you now, that will give you what is the criteria that the evaluators will go over in your written proposal. And then those proposals who go or who get the threshold of 75 will be invited to the second stage. That means the oral interview. This oral interview also has a panel of experts that this includes the 3 evaluators that evaluated your proposal, the scientific chair of that specific scientific area that you apply to. Another guest that we invite could be the HR of the institute, a member of the steering committee over program merit. We also have an international observer as well. So this panel interview, it's quite good for you also to show your communication skills. Also to let you know that the ethics screening that Martina already mentioned, that during the application phase, you will have to fill in an ethics issue table where you would have to see or to identify if there are any serious or complex ethical issues in your proposal. And if they are, how are you planning to address them? And all of the 15 fellows who get selected, plus the 8 in the reserve list, will go over an ethics screening by ethics experts. These ethics experts will take a look at your ethics issue table and your proposal to see if you didn't miss any of these ethical issues, and they would also let you know if there is any serious or complex ethics issue that we need to address in a different way. And then comes the approval of the steering committee. So let's see what is the evaluation and selection process. Like I mentioned, the written evaluation has a weight of 70% of the total weight of your score, and the oral interview has 30%. So the 15 best project proposals plus the 8 project reserve calls, then we'll go over the ethics screening, all of them. Now I will go deeper into the written evaluation. What is the criteria that the evaluators will go over? So there is 3 categories. There is excellent, impact, and implementation. In 10 pages, I know it sounds challenging, but you can do it. In 10 pages, you have to tell the evaluators through your project proposal what is the project research innovation objectives of your proposal, what is the methodology that you will be using if you're going to have an interdisciplinary approach, if you are going to include a gender dimension in your proposal. Gender dimension, it's a new topic, we understand it, but we have put in the guide for applicants, we have right there some of links, useful links for you to understand more what is the gender dimension in research and how can you include it in your methodology. There is a series of guiding questions that you can take a look as well. Also to tell you that there will be a gender dimension, a gender in science expert who will evaluate only this part in your proposal. Also, in this excellent part, the evaluators will take a look at how you are planning to do this two-way transfer of knowledge. That means what are you bringing to the research organization and what the research organization could do for you to advance your career. And also, it's important to let you know that the evaluators are not required to go over your CV. They will have access to it, of course, but they're not required to access it, only evaluate your research proposal. That's why it's important that in this excellent part, you also mention about your research professional experience, competence, and skills. But of course, it happens that the evaluators take a look at the CV, but again, they're not required. So that is very important that to mention this in your proposal. Then the second part is the impact. There, evaluators want to see how you are planning to measure the credibility of the measures to increase the career perspective, how this fellowship will really increase your chances to move forward in your career to the next step, to even lead your own research group. So they want to see that. Also, they want to see the plan of how you're planning to disseminate and exploit the research results of your proposal, and also the communication activities. There, you need to also take into consideration that there's differences between dissemination and exploitation. Dissemination is really how you're planning to communicate your proposal to a diverse audience, could be general audience who probably are not expert in the topic, and the exploitation of your results. That is really for the scientific audience. And also they want to see what is the sustainability of the research project, in this case, in our region of Central Bohemia. In the website, there is a section called Central Bohemia, so you can really go deeper in how this region is in the Czech Republic, how many research organizations they are, what is the research and development landscape, so you can see how your research proposal can fit in, or how can this be sustainable in the region. And finally, the implementation section of your research proposal, it deals with the quality and effectiveness of the work plan and assessment of risk. That means the work packages and the risk assessment. And here is where you have to include the Gantt chart of your proposal. And also, and finally, the relevance, feasibility, and benefits of the research project in accordance with the secondment. As Martina already said, you can choose a secondment from the consortium network, or you can propose your own organization that could benefit best for your proposal. Remember, at this stage, when you submit your project proposal, the secondment is not necessary to be already guaranteed or locked down. It's only a proposal. It's where you think your project proposal has the best chances to be a match, and how you're also planning to communicate with that secondment organization in case there is not in our network consortium. So this is for the written evaluation. Then those who get the 75% above the threshold, then we will invite them for an oral interview. Also want to remind you that all this information is also included in the guide for applicants. So that's why it's very, very important for you to go over and to study carefully, to read it carefully. The oral interviews, this is where you will meet face-to-face with those evaluators who went over your research proposal. And it's divided in 3, so that means that the evaluators will have a list of things that they would have to score during the interview. One of them is the scientific discussion. This is an opportunity for you that after you receive the consensus report, that means that you will receive a report where it says about the weaknesses and the strengths of your project proposal. If you get to the oral interview, this will be the space where you can say, okay, so maybe you mentioned this as a weaknesses. I can maybe overcome this with this. So this is the perfect space for that to cover it. And of course, the questions that the evaluators will ask you on your topic. The gender dimension, as I mentioned before, there will be a gender in science expert who will do the evaluation before the oral interview, and you will also receive the report on this. The communication ability, also the evaluators would like to see how confident you are in the interview, how clear and concise are your ideas when you communicate, and also how you respond to giving and receiving feedback. And also they want to see how is your potential for leadership. They want to see if you have interest in coaching, mentoring, or leading your own research group. And if you do, what are the steps for you to do it? Maybe it's that this is the first step one, or maybe this is getting closer for you to get into that point. And also to want to know about your last experiences leading challenging projects. All of this in 5 minutes. So this, I mean, not in 5 minutes. The oral interview lasts half an hour, but you will have 5 minutes to present your project again with a PowerPoint presentation if you want. Well, you will have 5 minutes to present what is the overall objectives of your project, and then introduce your project before the evaluators ask any questions. So if you want to know how to improve your chances to submit a good proposal, we invite you to join us again next week in the training for applicants, where we will go over these sections, and you will receive this training from one of the scientific chairs. So a very expert who has all the experience in evaluating projects that will give you really good pointers on how to submit hopefully a successful project. So this is for me, and now we can, I'm gonna stop sharing, and then we can start with the questions. Thank you. Okay, so maybe we can start with the questions in the chat before, if there is any question that you can raise your hand. Yeah, well, one of the questions I already answered, but I'm gonna read it out loud. Can Secondment Institute be anywhere in the world or only in the Czech Republic? In theory, anywhere in the world, but we know that how complicated or not that can be. But in theory, yes. Is it required to have a project acronym? Yes, the template for the project proposal requires one. Is proposal template available in LaTeX? I'm not sure if I'm understanding well the question.
No,
but
it is not.
No, okay, all right, okay. So it's available in Word, and you can download it from the website.
Exactly.
Yeah, but can I ask a question? Or
Yeah.
you want to? So if it's not available in LaTeX, but can we make our own template based on the Word template?
You can make the PDF out of the Word.
Yeah, but my question is, so Word has certain font size and everything in the template and headings and subheadings, but we can do the same thing using LaTeX, and I can do it by myself. So,
okay.
So
yes,
that's not a problem.
Okay, well, you can, but you must keep the titles and the subtitles, and also there is some guidance about the font and the size of the font. So you must keep all these instructions from our template. So if you keep them and use your template, it's fine. Of course, we have to be able to open this format.
Yeah. So the final submission is the PDF.
Yeah, the proposal that you would upload in the system would have to be in PDF.
Okay. Thanks.
It can be Word too. I don't know about other formats, but I was suggesting PDF because I thought that you want to avoid an editable document, so that's why.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
We can continue with the questions. If an applicant has a PhD offer in the Czech Republic, but he doesn't have funding, can Merit will help that student for scholarship? Well, Merit fellowship are for PhD persons who already hold a PhD. So it's not for studying a PhD, unfortunately, so this will not be the case. Do we also need to contact for secondment similar to supervisor? Yes, there has to be a supervisor in the secondment organization. And when the moment comes for you to go to do your secondment, there will be, of course, an agreement that has to be signed between your host organization and the secondment organization. And this would have to be solved like in advance, or ideally 3 months before you do your first secondment.
Sorry, I just want to add that it doesn't need to be the supervisor from the secondment organization doesn't need to be approached at the application stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's during the implementation of your project.
If I am eligible on 2 points, reintegration and restart of the career, does it matter which one I choose, or should I make a comment somewhere about this situation? No, all the research categories, they have the same conditions of eligibility. Would you please tell if other countries like UK or Germany institute can be host institutes, how we know which institute can be host institutes? So all the host organizations are part of the MERIT consortium, and all these hosting institutes are in the website, and they are only in the Czech Republic, specifically in Central Bohemia region. So no, they cannot be host institutes in UK or Germany.
Okay, Atsiri, do you want me to take over?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, by when does the supervisor need to be contacted, given the deadline for the full proposal? Well, as I said before, I recommend to do it as soon as possible. Remember that there is also the second way. If you don't want to contact the supervisor, you can contact us. But as the supervisors have 7 days to go over your abstract, please do it as soon as possible. And also maybe there will be it will be necessary to exchange few emails between you and the supervisor, because there will maybe some details to talk about. So please have some time to elaborate on your proposal also after you get your endorsement. Okay. Is it allowable to change a secondment during the course of the fellowship if it turns to be more beneficial to the project? Yes, this is possible. Also, as Atsiri said, it is not. It's the secondment at the application plan at the application stage is just a plan. So it can happen then that the secondment in the institution that you desire to be your secondment doesn't is not how to say it?
It would not be possible.
Yeah, it would not
reason.
be possible. So then you can change. You can choose another institute for the secondment.
Thank you.
Is there a template for the CV? No, there is no template.
But there are guiding points in the guide for applicants of what your CV has to include, and it has to be 5-page limit.
Mm-hmm. Do we need to have the confirmation from the secondment institution? No, it's not necessary. Just from the host organization. Can the starting day of the project be at the beginning of 2025? Yes, yes, it is possible. I think that with regard to the evaluation process, the earliest possible starting date is maybe September 2024, and the latest would be around April 2025. So the beginning of 2025 is fine. I got my PhD in 2004 and I'm 52 years old. Is my case eligible? Yes, you are eligible for the application because, as we said before, there is no limit, no age limit, and it doesn't matter when you got your PhD. What is the latest time to get the program started if I'm successful in the selection? I think that we already answered this question.
But
So
anyways, that information is also part in the guide for applicants. And as Martina already said, I mean, of course, ideally you can, and if you can, to start as soon as possible. Once, of course, go over the contracting phase with the host organization. If you are outside of the European Union, the visa process and everything. But I think the maximum is once you accept the fellowship, there is the maximum of 10 months after you accept the fellowship that you have to start.
Yes. Is it possible to present the project using devices or technologies that are already available in collaboration with companies from originating country? Yes, of course. I think it is completely fine. My previous application to the first call was unsuccessful. Will this affect my new application in any way? No. On the contrary, I think that it can help you because you already went through the process and you got the feedback from the evaluators. And if, for example, you attend also the training for applicants, I think that you have very high chances to be selected this time. Is it compulsory to have defended the thesis by the deadline? If I defend just a week later? Yes, so no, unfortunately, this is really compulsory to have the thesis defended by the deadline. Because then you will have to prove what was the date of the defense of the thesis.
And you have to prove as well that it was successfully defended.
Of course. Can I ask what should be included in the secondment form, which should be submitted together with the application? Okay, so it's just a plan, like the name of the organization where you would like to carry out your secondment, and it can be up to 3 different organizations. And that's all actually. And then you describe why you chose these organizations in the implementation part of the proposal. My defense in May, but deadline in application, yeah. So this is the same case. You need to defend your thesis before the deadline. What is meant by career stage reintegration restart or career? How many types of career stages are there?
They're not really stages; they're categories. Well, how the program Horizon Europe makes these categories are 4, and but again, you can see if the definition of each category is also in the guide for applicants, so you can see which one applies to you. But again, for regardless of any category that you choose, the eligibility conditions apply exactly the same.
Does the choice of secondment affect the selection process? No, not at all. It is important to describe how your secondment fulfill with at least one of the principles, which are intersectorality, interdisciplinarity, or international networking or international mobility. So this is important that you describe how the secondment fits and helps you implement your project, and how it complies with these principles. But the name of the secondment partner is not so important. When you say not to change the subsection when writing a proposal, Do you mean just the number? Or I can write, no, it must be the title that must be kept because as we said before, the title correspond exactly to the criteria and sub-criteria. So this is why it is so important that you really address these titles, because then you are addressing the criteria and the sub-criteria.
And we saw in the previous call that some of the proposals I don't know, decided or didn't or just deleted subsections. So this of course affects your score and your evaluation. So please just the template is there. Just don't delete anything. Just answer all the sections and subsections.
Yes. For example, if you decide to omit one subsection, then you will get 0 for this sub-criteria. When the interview will take place? So I think that it is sometime between May and, no, sorry, June, July, sorry, I don't know exactly, July, August. But of course, you will be informed once the written evaluation is over. Then you will be informed about the period of the interviews and about the exact date, several even weeks before it's if it's possible.
Yes, exactly. So if your proposal reach 75% over, you will be invited to the interview. But the interviews, yeah, should happen around that time, August.
What is this expected timeline after the submission deadline to final decision? Yes, so I think it is also on the in the guide for applicants and on the website. It's something between August and September. But I think August is more realistic. So in August you should know the final decision. Okay, I have several questions. Can the abbreviation of the project be the same as the project name? If the project name is short, of course. Yes, it can be. The secondment needs to be minimum of 2 months. However, if there is several subsequent secondment, is there a minimum length of each? No. It can be shorter periods, but together they must make at least 2 months. Right? Like for example, they can be like several shorter stays of 1 week, but they are considered, they are counted to the secondment, because you can even carry out your secondment as like half days. For example, if you carry out the secondment in a company which is not far away from your host organization, you can go for half days to the company, and these half days are also counted in the total period of the secondment. Can the secondment be reached by several secondments of 14 days? Yes. Are there some other restrictions for the secondments? For example, can it be carried out at the institute I previously worked and therefore already have connections? No, there are no such restrictions. It can be also an institute where you previously worked. And I think that it was also the case in the first call that we saw that some candidates preferred secondments in these organizations. Can I upload recommendations from leading scientists to my application? No, because there is no section where you can upload these recommendations. You can mention them as part of your proposal if you want to. For example, in excellence part. Will the oral part be online or in presence? It will be online. via Zoom. Am I eligible to apply if I have lived and worked abroad, even though as I was on a research day and I was paid from the Czech Republic? Yes. Yes, you were abroad, so it doesn't matter if you were paid from the Czech Republic. So you are still eligible. Is it possible to add additional subheadings to organize the proposal? I understand that the template headings cannot be changed. I just meant subheadings under the fixed template. Okay, yes, this is possible, but please keep in mind that the evaluators will evaluate always like the subcriteria. So they will actually assess each subcriteria, but if these subheadings are in the logic of the subtitle, then you can of course add the subheadings. Atsiri, do you want to take over?
Well, there's only two more.
No. There are three, and they are. No. Maybe there will be some new ones.
Can we ask in the proposal for the funding to hire postdoc PhD in addition to my own position? No. The fellowship grants are very clear of what is the type of grant that you will be receiving. That means the fellowship allowance, the family allowance, the research cost, and mobility cost, and none of this includes space for hiring a postdoc or PhD in addition to your own position, unfortunately. However, what you can the fellowship program, you can apply to other grants if you desire so, as long as doesn't interfere in your research. And of course, this has to be approved also by your supervisor and the host organization.
Yes, so there is one last question. Maybe some new one will appear. So is there any extra funding, for example, salary increase for the period that should be spent abroad, for example, secondment? So no, there is no extra funding except for what is written in the guide for applicants. For the stays abroad, for secondments, for example, you can use the resources from travel cost, which this is 300 euro per month, but it can be accumulated. So, for example, in case of 30 months fellowship, it is 9,000 euro. And then there is also an extra grant of approximately more than 3,000 euro, which can be used either for research or for travel. So you can also use them if, for example, your needs are more that you must put these resources for secondments, for travel. You can use them also for this, but there is no extra funding within merit fellowship. But as Atsiri said, you can always apply for some additional parallel grants.
And so far, how to address gender dimension. There is a section in the guide for applicants that would give you an example of the checklist, how you can address this topic in your proposal. So there are guiding questions about like what type of questions you can ask yourself during the research idea phase, during your proposal phase, during the implementation phase. And also we give you useful links. For example, there is a toolkit, gender for EU funded research. That is also could be very useful for you. And the next week training applicants, there will be a gender in science expert that will give you more pointers on this.
Okay, I'll take another one. If I get another grant from another foundation, can this fellowship be kept, or the percentage of effort need to be adjusted? So yes, merit fellowship can be kept. you can decrease slightly the FTE the contract on merit, or you can keep of course the full time in case your institution allows you to have more than one FTE. But we sent a question for our project officer to Brussels to ask if because we know that this situation can happen, so it is possible to ask for a decrease of the contract for merit in case you get another parallel grant. Professor, kindly increase deadline just a month more so we can apply. Hope we will hear the good news. Well, we will see if for example, many host organizations or supervisors ask us. We don't exclude this possibility, but so far it seems that the deadline will remain as it is. Okay. So you can also turn on your audio and ask your questions out loud if you want to.
Can you send us this presentation?
Yes, we will send you the presentation and also the record of the presentation of the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there is maybe one more question. What is the average success rate for previous selection? Well, I cannot calculate right now in my head, but I can tell you that there were around 40 applications and we selected 15 best in the first call. I think that this was the question, right? Yes.
Can we have access to previous applicants, the successful applicants, so that we can have an idea what kind of proposals they wrote or what kind of abstract or research they wrote?
You mean if you...
data available? Is that data available?
The project
somewhere?
proposals, you mean the project proposals itself are not available in the website. They're not. I think that we only make the list, no, of the name of the projects that were selected. If I'm not wrong.
No, the names of the projects are not public either. We only publish the numbers.
The ID, right? Yeah.
But if you want to, let's say, get in touch with some applicants from the first call, if you attend the training, which takes place the next week, there will be one applicant, one successful applicant from the first call, who will share his success case of gender dimension. So maybe after the presentation, if he leaves his contact, you can get in touch with him.
Okay, thank you.
So as a follow-up,
yes.
Hi. So some of the foundations, they add abstracts of the proposals on their website. So that's actually quite helpful. That was probably related to the question of Neeraj. I apologize if I pronounce it correctly.
That's what I was asking for. Yeah.
It's just something to consider, you know.
Yes, actually, we would like to publish some profiles of the successful candidates from the first call, but we were thinking to do it after this call is closed, so that it's not confused with the supervisor's profile. And then, of course, we will also publish the profiles of the successful candidates from the second call. So there will be all the successful candidates will be then presented on the website.
And maybe to help the students who are struggling with the deadlines for the PhD, is there a chance that this call is going to continue, or this is just one time or two time?
Yes, there is a chance. Yes, it depends on, of course, how many applications we will receive in this second call, and if we are able to select the 15 positions. If not, then we will open a third call. So it will depend on the result of the second call. And if we open the third call, it would be in the second half of this year.
There is one more comment in the chat. Animal physiology lab professors are not replying emails, so how can we contact them?
Okay. Can you please forward us the communication so we can see to whom you wrote, and if you want, we can take care of this, and as we said, we can ensure or secure the response from these professors. So please use the email info.meritcb, info@meritcb.eu. Okay, so I think that maybe there are no further questions.
Maybe just one more.
Yes.
So right now we have a lot of information, but then as we go through this application, the problems will arise. Is there, can we contact you or somebody else, for advice?
Of course, we are open for any consultations or support. Of course, we cannot help you develop your content, the content of your proposals, but we can give you some references for documents that you can use, or of course, if it is something that is not clear, then. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us. You can write an email, or even through the Merit website. There are many forms and many possibilities how to contact us.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, this may be redundant, but actually I wanted to know under the domain, each mechanical engineering people can apply on laser material interaction or anything non-conventional machining.
So you're asking if there is no a research group that is in the list, but you would like to reach out to another research group. That's your question?
Yes, ma'am.
I would advise you send us an email with the topic that you want to explore. And I know now the area that you mentioned, the mechanical engineer, but what specific topic there is that you're interested, and we can explore if there is a research group that probably is not on this open in this call, but could accept your application. It's not a guarantee, but we can explore the possibility.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know that the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering of the Czech Faculty, Czech Technical University, is part of the consortium. So if your topics fits in this research group, then you could apply, but we need to find out. So that's why we were asking to send us the abstract of your project or a draft of your project.
Okay, ma'am. And that draft or abstract, by which date I should mail you, now or before submission?
Before submission, because an endorsement from the supervisor is a mandatory part of the application. So without this, you could not apply.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
How many paper publications are required as first author and co-author for selection of candidate? There is not such requirement as part of the application process. If you go over the evaluation and selection criteria, you will see that it is not in any of the requirements or criteria.
I mean, of course, I mean, you will have to describe your experience, but there is no requirement that you have to be first author or co-author.
Okay, any other questions? Maybe the last questions that we will accept. And as we said, if you think of any other questions, you can always contact us after the session. So if not, we will thank you all for your attention, for your questions, and we will send you the presentation and the link for the record of this session. And hopefully see you all the next week at the training. So goodbye.
Thank you.